Mhm. All right. Got my tea tonight. I was out there in all that cold air kicking my butt today, but I'm gonna be all right because I went out there and conquered and succeeded at everything that I needed to do today. So I am happy. I missed that one. I will pick it up because if not, then I'll be in trouble with the missuses. So what's going on, party people? This is your man Griff. Man, oh man. Oh man. Let let me see here. What we got going on? Who we got up in the house today? Where my comments at? There they go. What's going on? Who that? That's Greg. What's going on, man? Hey, I almost didn't make it. I'm gonna tell you now, I almost didn't make it at all. And went out and did nothing but enjoy a fragrance conference. Oh, okay, cool, cool. Yeah, no, everything's been good. Today was a good day. It was busy. Oh my goodness, today was busy. And let me see something. Um, trying to think. Oh, there it is. There it is. I was trying to remember what the daggone website was. I'm trying to find something for somebody. Um, hold on. Let me see. Because they was asking me about the field inspections, and I don't know what they need to do in order to get there. Okay. All right. So, good evening, party people. What's up, Dennis? We ready for you on tomorrow, man. He's gonna be in the training. I think tomorrow or either Sunday. I forget which day, but we gonna see you and everything on tomorrow. And let me share this with y'all because apparently some people not realizing with the training. Okay, let me do this real quick. All right. All right. So this is the site that I have the notary certificate. You go here. You go to notary certificate dot training. Okay. Where the heck is it? All right. You go to that website and it gives you information about it. And then all you gotta do is click on where it says register. It brings you to this site. You click down here where it says training class. It has the dates, and then you select the time. What people have been doing is getting here and like, I don't see what to do. And it's letting you know over here what the total pay is. You select the time that you want, and then you can put in your information to register for the training. For some reason, people have been stopping here at the calendar and like, I don't know what to do. I can't, how do I register? You got to select the time that you want, which is only one time. And then that's how you do it. Same thing here, same thing here, same thing here. So you have to select the time and then it'll take you to the registration form and then you go forward from there. Okay. So for those who a person was asking me about which um company that I'm with this company here. It's Groundworks, but they switched over to being called. They're still Groundworks, but they're all under ValueNet. So they're under this here called ValueNet. Go to ValueNet and down here join the ValueNet Appraiser Network and sign up for them and do whatever they say. I do not know whether they got space in your area. I do not know anything other than This is where you go. If they tell you they don't have space, when are they going to get space? You got to communicate to them. I cannot answer anything because I do not have an in with them. I do not have some kind of cool person connection or any of that. You click on to learn more, and then it tells you here, I guess, everything you need to know. You fill the stuff out, and then I guess the best thing I can say is hope for the best and see what happens. That's what you have to do. Okay. So I'll make sure I comment back to that person. This website address, valuenet.com. Right here, valuenet.com. That's the website. You go there and then you can pop lock and do all the stuff you need to do. Hey, good evening to you, Denise. What's going on, Dennis? My man Caprinis, Byron, Mr. Smellgood, and my man Gray. Yeah, we talked earlier today and stuff. So, and we got some good people up in here. All right, so we covered that. All right, we know how to get there for the notary certificate training. And let me share this also, because a lot of people I know that having some issues with all this training people keep putting out here. I want you to, I'm going to be on record, and I've already done videos about this. Any training I do, it is always going to be designed to help you deal with a problem that you currently have. Okay. And the current problem that most notaries have is they don't know how to properly notarize the signatures for what they're doing. They don't understand how to give an oath. They don't understand how to deal with various with the different variations of notarial certificates, how to understand and figure out what to put in those blanks. None of that. And I cover all of that. That's why it's 3 hours. Okay. 3 hours of me going step by step by step in the whole thing so you can learn what's going on. Good evening to you. So you can learn what you need to know, because you got to remember, your marketing gets you the opportunity, but you being able to do your job is what gets you repeat business. Marketing don't get you repeat business, because if you do business with somebody and you mess it up, they're going to be like deuces. They're not going to mess with you. And it's the same thing you do. Somebody mess up something that you're doing. What do? You move on from them. So don't think that won't happen to you. Okay. Please stop thinking that you can just act any old kind of way and everything is just going to be fine and that you're not going to be held accountable. Okay. Don't think that. You will be held accountable. And one of the ways is by not getting selected for any other work. So that's the whole purpose of the notary certificate training, is to make sure that you have the confidence to go out here and do your job, helping you to understand, like I said, certificate wording, venue, the signers' names, understanding your signature, because depending on your state law, that little squiggly line you do may not be allowed. And some people just do some kind of little wiggly thing for their notary signature. And in the state of Virginia, your signature has to look like the name that's printed on the stamp. So you need to also understand that. Okay. You got to understand that. And some people don't, and they just do whatever. You also got to know whether or not your notary expiration is supposed to be on your stamp. Some people are getting notary stamps with no expiration, and then they just handwriting it. I just did a split signing, and that's what the person did. They did the stamped it, had their name, all of that, but no expiration date. And then they just wrote a date underneath right next to their stamp. But how do you know that's an expiration date? Because there was nothing that said like expires or expiration, nothing. It's just a stamp and then this date. And yes, the date is in the future, 2029, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's your expiration. You get what I'm saying? So so you have to make sure that you're following your state guidelines. And then the other side of it is, even though your state may say it's okay, sometimes the companies, they want it in there, or at least make it clear what that date is, that notary expiration, instead of just writing some arbitrary date and everything. And it looks more official when the date, your expiration date, is on your stamp. But some people like to get slick and not put it on a stamp, so they can just keep their stamp until the day they die. That's just the truth of the matter, you know, and everything. So, and also feel free to throw your questions in there. It said, "This is wisdom." I had one comeback that was brand new to me 2 weeks ago, due to acting professional and doing it right the first time. Griff has the knowledge. There you go. I'm telling you, you look, you kick it with me, you're going to learn what you need to learn. I promise you. I don't take what I do lightly at all. Okay. I do not take what I do lightly at all. So tonight I want to talk about making a profit, or as old school people say, turning a profit. Make sure y'all hit the like button, because when y'all hit the like button, YouTube will push it out and let others know. So even though you hear, and also comment, ask questions. Matter of fact, everybody tell me where you coming from. And just so y'all know, I don't try to hide stuff from you. The reason why YouTubers ask y'all to say where you came from, because that interaction in the chat is what lets Google know that you're interested. So everybody put in where they came from. Just put your state in there and all of that, and then hit the like button, so that Google can, or YouTube can, push it out to other people. Now, whether they come or not, that's on them. But that's the whole purpose. So when y'all hear me asking y'all questions, hit the one, give me one for this and two for that. That's why. It's just to generate content and stuff. And that is a good way to get some. Yeah, Denise, she took the training. I deal and cover everything. So if you're looking to be taught how to explain the documents, you will not learn that with me. Okay. And that's part of the reason why some people won't take the training, because they really want to learn how to explain the documents. But that's not what I'm here for. Okay. That is not what we're supposed to be doing. And there's a few states that allow you to do that, and you can get that information from them. All right. So where is, hope I didn't. Where the heck? Oh, where is it? All right. Hold on. I gotta find my thing that had my website stuff on it. All right. Let me pull Gemini back up. All right. So, all right, here we go. Whew. All right. So, I'm also, and in this, you're going to also, you said, hold on, I want to get started. Okay. Get started with what? Please articulate that. I'm old school. I don't read minds. I didn't get that gene when I was born. So when you say get started in what? And how close, where are you at? Because if you're talking about the notary business, articulate that with me, because I want you to be clear, and let me know at what point are you in this process. Are you just looking at it? Have you actually started? Did you get commission? where are you at? Because that is very vague for me. And I don't like giving people answers to stuff that they've already accomplished. So the more details, the better. And if you don't want to put it here, then notary help at, just email me. I just put this email in there. Just email it there. I'll get it. And then that'll help me understand. Okay. So if you don't want to put it here, you don't have to, but just send me an email so that way I will know. So real quick. So we got Clearwater in the house, San Antonio, Gorham. At first I thought they said Gotham. San Antonio. Y'all know I'm in Arkansas with my banjo. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Charlotte. We got Florida. Jacksonville. I grew up in Jacksonville. Matter of fact, somebody who's taking a training tomorrow grew up in Jacksonville and graduated the year after I did. So that's going to be cool to be with somebody and all of that and stuff. Ohio, we got Central Florida. Good to see you there, young lady. All right. So this whole thing about making a profit. That's the first thing a lot of people get in this business and they say, I got to turn a profit. I spent X amount coming in. Now I got to hurry up and make that money back. I got to get my return on the investment. Let me ask this question real quick. What is the average time before a small business makes a profit? Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So let me get my thing up here. So what I was asking Gemini here is, this is a question. I said, what is the average time before a small business makes a profit? I didn't specify what type of business, just in general. They said most commonly cited average time for new small businesses to turn a profit is 2 to 3 years, 24 to 36 months. However, this is just an average. The real answer depends heavily on the type of business you run and its what initial costs, what it costs to get in there. Key factors determine profitability timeline. The time it takes for your business to turn a profit is primarily determining two factors: startup costs and operating costs. Okay, those are the two main factors: startup costs and operating costs. So what it costs you to get in the business, and what is it costing you to keep the business going? Low overhead, low startup cost equals the fast profit. So if you think about it, let me come back to y'all for real quick. If you think about it, a lot of these people out here are telling you to spend all this money coming into the business, the notary business, all these highly expensive courses, all of this getting logos on your shirt, all of this getting, special pins with your brand on it and all of that, getting all these different websites, spending all this money on Google ads and all of that. So you spend a lot of money coming in, and then you have a high operating cost because now you have to keep that stuff up. And then if you got mugs and stuff like that you giving out to everybody, now you got to replenish that. So though your operating costs, then if you're spending money on super expensive printers, if you're spending money on expensive folders, because I use the cardboard, but instead a lot of y'all are using the plastic ones. That's like $3 a pop. That's Then if some of y'all are what is that other thing people are doing? The flyers and all of that. Some of that stuff you may not need. You may not need it, but you spending money on all of that. There's my cough drops. So low overhead. All right, stay with me now. So business requires minimum upfront investment, low ongoing costs. And that's part of the reason why I'm able to. And then Greg says, yep, I have pens, websites, Google Ads. It is expensive. And many of you are not at the point where you can really fund that cost. So think of it. Oh, let me come back to you again. Think of it. If you're trying to make a profit in 2 to 3 years, why are you spending all this money going to an NNA conference? Now, am I against a conference? No. But if you're going to a conference or any meetups and stuff, and in order to afford to go there, it's coming out of your personal, not your business money, then you shouldn't be going. Why are you going to something for your business, but the only way you can get there is not to pay your mortgage, not to pay your rent, not to pay your car note, or you paying everything late? In order for you to go to this notary business event, you got to spend all your personal money there. Run up your personal credit cards to go. And then the whole time you're there, you hope nothing happens at all that can mess you up even more financially than what you are just to get there. And even if you did get there and learn some stuff, you still use your personal money to take care of your business stuff. You can't write that off. See, the companies, they don't care what, when you break out your credit cards and stuff, it's a lot of these expire. When you break these bad boys out, that's my social. I'm looking for that. When you break them bad boys out, you break out your Capital One, and there's a Visa there, and another, you break all them out, and that's another, oh, that's a MasterCard. When you break them bad boys out, guess what? They don't care whether it's personal or business. They're going to take your money. So if you are doing that, then that's a problem. Okay. And it's going to be hard for you to be honest about turning a profit. So, and I'm going to give y'all a link to all of this. I'll put this up in the description of the video later on. Then you got high overhead and high startup costs, slower profit. So for many of you, if you put in a lot of money to get into business and you have a lot of money to keep things going, it's going to be slower for you to make a profit. Okay, so here's what I did. We go up here to the top. I asked Gemini, I said, give me the basic definition of turning a profit for a business owner. Now, this is related, to notary. Let me zoom in a little bit more so make sure everybody can see this stuff. The basic definition of turning a profit in a business owner is it means your business is earning more money, revenue, than it is spending expenses over a specific time period. Now, that specific time period is key because a lot of y'all are looking at your specific time period in 2-week increments like your job. I look at mine more quarterly, semi-annual, and annual, because I know that there's going to be ups and downs. So this month might be up. This month might be, the next month might be down. This week might be up. The next 2 weeks might be down. So let me look at for 3 months. How did I work out? How did things go? Everything was cool because there might be a month where I had to spend money on getting toner and stuff, printing supplies. And then 2 months I didn't. So that can affect it. Now, if I got to spend money on that kind of stuff every single month, that affects my profit. You see what I'm saying? So then it says in simple terms, profit equals your revenue minus your expenses. And this is where people are getting mixed up at, because if your expenses are up here, but your revenue is down here. Now, a lot of people think in order to increase the revenue, charge more. Not necessarily. It sometimes means you got to do more work. But a lot of people don't want to do more work, or they can't do more work. So they're stuck here at this level of revenue, but they got this level of expenses. And are those expenses truly justified in order for you to run your business? If it is, then you're going to have to figure something out for us getting more revenue. If it's not, then you need to cut these expenses. And in my excuse me, and in my opinion, your first 3 years in this business you do not need to be working toward going to all of these meetups and conferences. You need to be out here grinding and building your reputation for being a great notary and that people can depend on. The conference will be there, but the opportunity to do work for somebody might not. To take 3-4 days off so you can go out here and party it up and meet this person and get drunk and all that kind of stuff, hook up and all those kind of things. And then you get back and two of the customers that you could have connected with, and the stuff that you learned can't even be applied to where you're at, because sometimes the stuff that you learn, and you can learn some good stuff, but it's not applicable in your area. So to me, that's a waste of time and money, because all they're gonna do is put it online, and then I think they do an online version of all the stuff that's spoken, so you can see it there. So, but I know a lot of people like, I just want to be in the house. I just want to be there. Okay, fine, you be there, and then you're broke. I'd rather be in my house with some money than being in somebody else's house and broke. I'm just saying. Okay. So give me your thoughts on this as we talk through. So when the result is a positive number, you have a profit. When the result is 0, you have broken even. When the result is negative, you have a loss. So that's the main thing. So then I asked the question here. I said, I made this statement. I have a mobile notary business that brings in 95% of its revenue from mortgage loan closings, and 98% of that is from multiple signing services and 2% from direct title companies. What are some basic things I need to consider in order to turn a profit in my business? Now, this is what it said. That is a great question. As your revenue structure relies heavily on lower fee notary signing services, 98% of your loan closing income, makes cost control and strategic fee negotiating absolutely critical to turn a profit. So what it's saying is, if the bulk of my money is coming through signing services, I'm gonna need to try to do some cost control, meaning my expenses going out, and some strategic fee negotiation to increase my profit. So to turn a profit, you need to focus on 2 core areas: increasing revenue and reducing expenses. That's common sense. Okay, then it talks about all of this. And again, I'm gonna put the link into this for y'all to look at later. All right, then it talks about increased direct title attorney work, because your 2% direct business likely has a much higher profit margin because you keep the entire fee. That is true. And I am working on that. Focus marketing efforts, dedicate time each week to doing your marketing, be the preferred choice. That's what I am. Impeccable service, prompt scan backs, and 0 errors on direct assignments. This helps you become their go-to notary, securing consistent stream of high-paying work. That is true, and that's what I've been doing. Okay. So then I asked the question, so then I said, the issue with trying to negotiate a higher fee with the signing service is that the orders going out are presented to multiple notaries in my area. So I only have about 5 seconds to respond, or someone else will be assigned. I could reply back with a higher fee. I don't know why. But I don't know why it's not showing me the whole thing. But but I said, but the signing company will more than likely, assign it to someone else. So it said, that is an absolute accurate and critical observation. You have perfectly described the race to the bottom pricing pressure that exists in the signing service market. So this isn't unknown. Your instinct that they will not reduce their own profit to raise your, and that's one of the, I don't know why it's not. Oh, here it is. There it is. I said, I could reply back with a higher fee, but the signing service has already set the fee so they can also make a profit. If they increase my fee, that typically means they have to take less because the title company that hired them may not increase the fee being paid to the signing company. Now, tell me where I'm wrong at. In this statement here that I'm asking, where am I incorrect at? Greg, Ladora, Caprentice, where am I incorrect that this is the scenario when you ask a signing service, not talking about direct, a signing service? Because remember, let me come back to y'all for a quick second. Hang in here, y'all. Remember, the title company and the signing company have a contract agreement for services. Okay, I mean a contract. They have a straight up contract, not just an agreement, but a contract. And I did a video a couple of weeks back about the difference between contracts and agreements. The contract is legally binding. And in the contract is where you do the negotiating. They say, okay, for you'll get this and we'll give you that. And you'll give us this and we'll give you that. So all of that is worked out. So we'll give you 200 closings a month at $150 a pop. And if there's a fee increase, the fee increase has to fit within these criteria. And if it is within this criteria, we can increase the fee that goes to the notary. If it's not within that criteria, it ain't happening. So you come along after taking your super special 3-letter, 5-letter, the lady got pretty hair, the woman is bubbly, the dude got nice hair, he got a nice little flat front, khakis on. The other person is talking about how they can help you with your website and get you more marketing and all of that. So they got all these people out here talking all this sweet stuff to you and telling you ask for more money. They can't pay you any more money because they have a contract that says we get paid $150. We're gonna split that between us and the notary. Give the notary 75, we take 75. Boom. That's the way it flows. You say I want more. Why? Well, I took all these training and I'm a white glove notary and all of that. And I got my French tips on and, I got the hair on my knuckles cleaned off and no, I just want more money because that's what I think I deserve. You just got to pay me my worth. Well, you ain't done nothing. I know this is my first time doing something with you, but I just think I'm worth more. And I think you need to realize that I'm worth more. Can you do what I'm asking and then let me make the determination? Well, I don't want it then. Okay, peace out. So that's what I asked. Okay. Now, this is what it said. You have perfectly described the race to the bottom pricing pressure that exists in the signing service market. Your instinct that they will not reduce their own profit to raise yours is correct. Since you are operating in a market where speed is everything, the fees are fixed, you need to shift your strategy from demanding a higher price per signing to creating higher profit per hour and becoming a preferred vendor. So a lot of y'all have been told, go and ask them to make you preferred. I'm going to say this again, and I know I'm going to have to say it again after this. Nobody prefers you until they see what you can do. You go to get your hair cut, you go to get your hair done, you go to a particular grocery store, you prefer something once you see that they meet your criteria. You have a criteria of how you want your hair cut. You have a criteria of how you want your finger waves done, or your weave done, or your man unit done, your nails done. You have a criteria of how you want your car detailed. And when they meet that criteria, then you make them preferred. You haven't met anybody's criteria. You haven't done a single thing for anybody, and you want them to make you preferred. Just because you got a notification. Who are you that anybody should prefer when you haven't done anything for anybody? Those are facts you are stating about asking for an increased fee. You may not get the assignment if others are willing to accept the fee offered. And see, people think because they accept the fee offered, then they say, well, you're taking those low ball fees. Okay, well, I ain't taking that fee person. What kind of money you making? Y'all need to ask them that. Show me proof that when you ignore this fee that I took, that you're making other money. you're making the money that you want to make doing the same thing, just at a higher pay. Show me proof. Don't badger me for taking what I took that's taking care of my family. Let me see that you ignored this order that I took and that you was able to get the dollar amount that you desired consistently to pay your bills. I'm not talking about you got 150 3 times in the month or 4 times in the last quarter. I'm talking about you getting 150 every single time, since that's what your fee is supposed to be. While I'm knocking out the 60, the 80, the 45, the 105, I did an $84 reverse mortgage application today. Printed out 196 pages. A portion of that stayed with him. I got $84. I wasn't even there, but maybe 45 minutes because the gentleman was a slow writer. For 45 minutes, $84. Didn't have to notarize anything. And I was in and out. And it says customer service is the key to be better than the other person, be professional. That is correct. Okay. So let me go back here. All right. So shift volume and efficiency over price. And this is where I'm at. I'm working on volume and being efficient over price. If you can't raise the price, you must lower the cost to serve and increase the number of signings per day. Some of you are not in a position to do that. And the reason why is because you got too much going on. Either because you have no choice or because you chose to have stuff going on because you think that's what makes you a business owner, that you have to have your hands in 5 and 6 different business opportunities in 5 or 6 different streams of income things, and you can't really be efficient and effective in any one of them. Now, I'm not talking about those of you like Ladora. She's a real estate agent. So she was a real estate agent first, then she became a notary. I don't expect someone in that position to let go of being a real estate agent or even a real estate broker over, just to be a notary. But if you started off being a notary and then you say, well, I'm going to do this other stuff, whatever that other stuff is, because I'm not going to name any of this other stuff because people might think I'm trying to attack them, and I'm not. It don't matter what the other stuff is, but you start doing this other stuff. At some point in time, you're going to realize you can't handle it and you need some relief because you're not going to be good because you got your hand out there doing too much and you spread too thin. So extreme efficiency and volume, profit per hour. Now, I don't agree with the profit per hour because they're talking about, a $75 fee for 5 miles versus $100 fee for 60. If that's all that's available in your area, sometimes you just got to roll with it. So that's the one thing that's not defined. And I meant to ask that question, or pose that to them, double, triple, double, triple tip, optimize, making your mapping, all of that. So at the end of the day, when it comes to trying to turn a profit, you can clearly see that in order for you to turn a profit in this, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. I'm trying. There we go. So in order for you to turn a profit in this business or any business, you got to look at what your startup costs were. How much did you pay to get in this business? There are people that I know that spend at least $5 to $6 grand, sometimes maybe as low as 4. Some of them like $4 grand to get in this business. How many of y'all know somebody that spent, it doesn't mean that it's you. If you respond, put a 1 in the chat if you know somebody who spent at least $4,000 to get in this business. I do, because I was working with the young lady for a while. Haven't heard anything from her for about 2 years now. She spent $6 grand, mobile printer, everything. I'm not talking about over a course of years. I'm talking about just to get started with courses, shirts and logos, all of that. This the logo that came with the shirt. So that's not no special logo from Griff. She spent $6 grand, told me straight up $6 grand to get into business. You're saying they have to invest, but not necessarily, but you got to invest smartly. A lot of people say that, hey, well, they got to invest. Do you need an $800 course that's not teaching you how to do the proper notarizations when your job is to properly notarize? And then they tell you to sign up for a $49 a month Facebook group. So hold up. Come on, people. Let's give me some numbers out there, y'all. Okay, give me some numbers. Okay, let me put this up here. So we know that there's some training courses that cost about, okay, so $49 a month times 12. That's 588 plus the $800 to do the training course. Okay. So that right there is 1,300. Then your printer. So you don't say, let's just go with an even plus 500 for a printer, and we'll just keep it the same 500 for a scanner. So now you're at 2,388. Correct. They can print out their state laws, but that's not how you introduce into the business. You're not in, nobody tells you that. They tell you what you need to be trained, and you have to take training. That's what they tell you. So right now, that's just what a training course. You're already going to pay what did I put it in? $588 to be in somebody's private Facebook group. That's just one. That's just one private Facebook group. Who knows how many else you get into? Then when you start talking about your logos, yeah, there's some of them $50 a month. Correct. They have these private Facebook groups. Some of them have private Facebook group. That's how a lot of these notaries make money. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that's what they do. Okay. So that's 2,300 just for the printer, all of that. Then your startup cost. Now you're talking about a case of paper, Sam's Club. Okay, that's $38 for the paper, plus $80 for legal paper. Then you talk about some pens and stuff. So pens, I use paper, the cardboard folders. So let's just say with the pens, black and blue. Then you're talking about a notary bag. We'll just say pens, all of that, a bag. We'll just say altogether, say pens can be expensive. Plus, we'll just go 150. All right, so plus 150. So now you get that. Then now let's just say you don't have, okay, then you go get your fancy shirt and logo creation. That right there can be about $500 for a logo. Then you taking some Google business class training. We know that's going to be about $150. Then you take a Canva class. That might be another $150. You ain't took that. When they ain't order yet. Not they ain't order yet. Then if you say, I want some business funding and stuff, now you're probably talking about get your credit straight so you can get this so-called business funding. That might be a $250 course on, help to get that straight, if not more. Yeah. So now you're talking about almost $4,000, and you ain't even really got. Oh, and then let's do this here. And then you're a person who you don't even really have a good computer. You got to buy your computer. We'll just go with $1,500. Because I know some notaries that don't have a printer. So if you minus out the $800 course minus the $588 for the Facebook group, then you take out the minus the $500 for the logo, you minus, I mean, you see how your cost is going down? Then you take out, if you leave the business credit stuff alone, so now you just save yourself $250. Then you get rid of those other two courses minus that 300 that you really don't need. Now you look, you see what I'm saying? That's a lot of money that you are saving. A lot of money that you are saving. That would minus 52. That's over almost $2,500 you're saving if you're smart about it. Now, that, what was that? That, because you know you need the laptop. So let's just say that 5206, I'm sorry, that 5,206 is everything included. Then you add in going to a conference. NNA conference could probably be another $3,000. Oops. 5206 plus. Because let's just say you get into the NNA at that time. Oh, and we haven't even added in the NNA certification, which is another 300. And your notary stamp. Thank you. $15. I went with the higher fee of $1,500 for a laptop because some people don't like refurbished, but there's nothing wrong with refurbished. And then you throw in, don't forget, your annual fee for mentorship program, which they charge you monthly. That right there is probably going to be another $500. So $9,021. $9,021 you're talking about. Okay. So let's divide that by 85. That means you got to put out at least 107 orders. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how I forgot that. 9,021. I'm getting that 9,021. The E&O insurance with Bybert, we'll just go with 400. 400. And then, like, I have the business owner policy with them, which is separate from the E&O, which covers like cybersecurity and other things. So that right there is another 500. All right. Divided by the average fee that I've been seeing around here is 85. So now you're talking about 116 orders at that dollar amount. But you said, yeah, I counted the paper. It's not 8.5 by, it's not 11 by 17. It's 8.5 by 14. So the fee for the paper, the $38 is what I see at the lowest for at the Sam's Club, and $82 is about the average for the legal off of Amazon and some of the other sites. Okay. And that's for a 10-pack. I ain't talking about the 8-pack, ring or 5 and 3 and all that. I always get 10 rings. Always get 10 rings. Oh, and we're not even talking about the daggone. So let me go back. 9,921 plus toner. If you're getting this, which you probably have to get the 6210. The 6210 toner I just bought on sale was 194 plus 2 something for the drum. I think it was like, I think I caught it on sale for like 225. So now you're talking about $10,000. Remember the NNA fee in there, all of that other stuff in there. And now you have to ask yourself, did I really need to spend that kind of money? Yeah. Now the cool thing is with the 6210, their drum the drum that puts the toner onto the paper is good for 45,000 pages. And the toner that you get, the what they call the UXXL, is good for 18,000 pages. So versus a HP that you're not going to get 8,000 pages out of that. I mean, 18,000 pages out of their toner. You see what I'm saying? So you're talking about 10 grand. Now you divide that by 85, you're talking about 121 orders in order to break even. Now, here's where the problem comes in at. During this whole time, you're trying to turn a profit. You're being told repeatedly, don't take an order for 85. Don't take it for 90. Don't take it for this. Don't take it for that. Which 18K? I realized, Grill, we really never get close to that 18K. What, 18K a month? Yeah, it'd be hard. It'll be hard. Okay, yep. And don't forget, plus Notary Assist, that's another $80 or so a year, or 100 or whatever. So you have that. Oh yeah, the UXX. Oh, okay. I know what you're not there. Yeah. The number of pages. Yeah, you never get close to that 18,000 pages on that toner. It says it not with them big old stop signs and all that crap they be putting in there, eat up all your toner. You're right about that, man. So you're being told don't take orders for you're right, brother is lying. You're talking about don't take orders that are under 150. So let's look at it. Okay. Let me go back here. So in the perfect world, if you just spent 10,340 to start this business off and you want 150, that's only, we'll just round it up to 70 orders you got to get. The question is there 70 orders consistently each month that's coming your way so you can make that money back? If you can get that, that is great. But don't forget your operating costs. Because if you're doing 70 orders, you printing some pages out, 2 copies. And you're not just doing sellers. You might be doing reverse mortgages and things of that nature. So you're doing these orders. That means you're bypassing all the HELOCs, all the $50, the $85. You're bypassing all that, and you're only getting 150 a pop every single time. And you're getting that at least 70 times a month. More power to you. The question is, okay, that was 1 month. Will it happen again the next month and the next month? Now we know every single month there's going to be a whole bunch of $85 orders out there. We know every single month there's some $90 orders and some $100 orders, but we do not see the 150 each time. And then keep in mind, depending on where you're at, your 150 that you're seeing is also being stalked by other people who see it. And if you're new coming on the scene and they're more experienced than you, guess who they're going to give the order to? They're going to give the 150 to them and they give the 85 to you. But you don't want the 85 because the 85 is beneath you because you're worth more. Because you took some course that has told you you're worth more. And then you're out here struggling, talking about I need to turn a profit. But you won't take the orders. I won't go here. I won't go there. I won't do it at this time of day. I won't do it at this time of night. I did one this morning, 8 o'clock at 8:30 this morning. Y'all heard me talk about going over there and doing stuff, driving 5-hour round trip. Yeah, I got paid 4 bills for it. But the reason why is because I built trust with them so that they would know that, hey, they can rely on me and they know I'm going to go out there and get the job done right. Now, I'm not saying you can't turn a profit in this business or any business, But in order for you to properly turn a profit, and again, I'm gonna put this link on my community. I'm gonna make a link with this public shareable link with all of this information, and I'll put it in the description later, and I'll put it on the community tab, so it'll be up there later this evening. Here's the thing: you got to understand business and figure out how to run your business the way you need to run it. That's what you have to figure out. And trying to say, I'm going to charge more so I can have a profit. The problem is that most people don't have they have a spending problem. Get a sip of my hot tea here. Here's the thing. If you wasn't making a profit in your W-2 life, meaning you was already overextended when you started this business, you was already financially overextended because your job didn't bring in enough money to handle your lifestyle. All you're doing is trying to start a business, hoping that you can make an extra little bit of money with the business to cover the deficit in your lifestyle. Is it ethical to start a printing service for notaries? Um, you can start whatever you want. Whether or not the company wants their notary to be using some third party printing service, that's going to be a different thing. Okay. And why would I want to pay you to print if I have the stuff? Now, if I don't have the stuff, that could make sense. But here's how you would have to do it. You would need to find a way to make sure that all of your security is in place, that you can show them. Because see, you can market to the notary, but who you need to market to is the title and the lender, and let them know that you have this service just in case there's a notary. However, they still may not want too many copies of their work out there, other stuff. So the lender and the title put the document together. They upload it to the portal. There's a copy there. The notary has a copy. Then you're saying the notary can't print, so they're going to send it to you. Now you have a copy of it. And yes, you may delete it, but it's still, is that a part of their business model to have that many copies out there? You see what I'm saying? And is it cost effective? Because that notary has to pay you, because the title, the lender, and the signing company not paying you to print for the notary, because that's the notary's responsibility. Which means the notary is going to want more pay from them. So why would I support you doing a print service for a notary that I'm hiring, and I expect them to print, but now they got to go to you to print, and then they want to ask me for more money? That's not going to work for me as a business. I'm like, no. And then, of course, if you use the e-journal, that's another $20 a month if your state allows it. I don't like the e-journals. I'd rather have the paper one. It's just too much to be setting up and putting this document in and that document in, and I ain't got time for all that. And when I'm doing 6, 7 of these a day, for me, paper, boom, I'm out. All of this, okay, let me set this up ahead of time. What if it gets canceled? And now I got this entry. I ain't got time for that. And that, my journal can last me 2 months. So $16 for a paper journal that can essentially last me 2 months versus $20 a month. Yeah, it has unlimited, but I just prefer the paper. That's all. I just prefer the paper. You know what I'm saying? I just prefer the paper. But back to what I was saying. If you aren't running your personal finances correct. Don't think starting a business is going to all of a sudden put you in the black or the red or whatever they call it. Black Friday is when it ain't gonna put you in a positive just because you start this business. You didn't run your finances right in your W-2 world. That's why you're looking for something else. If you was making enough money in your W-2, most people here would not even consider doing a business unless they realize they got some kind of, especially a notary business, because it's not like like when you was a kid and somebody said, "Oh man, look at how you press down on stuff." That kid got the notary, the notary skills. Look at how look. They playing with this thing here, and look how they pressing. They pressing like they're a notary. Oh man, ain't nobody. Oh man, look at how they take the little flag out of the little holder, like a notary would do. Ain't nobody born with no kind of special notary skills, at least not that I know of. Ain't no parent sitting up here hoping their kid be the next new notary or whatever and stuff. Okay, inflation brought some people here, but a lot of the people that I come across, they not making enough money and they've overspent because they was busy taking trips for every time they have a birthday or thought they was going to have a birthday or wanted to have a birthday. And they've been overspending. And now they're like, oh, I need to make some extra money. Yeah, inflation brought some people here after the pandemic. So after the pandemic, the inflation brought a lot of people here. But then most business managers or financial advisors would say, okay, what were you doing with your money before then? Because before the inflation hit, which was during the which pretty much came during the pandemic and after the pandemic, and the tariffs when Trump, when a little Trumpster got back in office, what did what were you doing with your money prior to the increase, this inflation? Were you saving money? Were you putting it aside or were you being reckless with it? Because if you're being studious with your money, then when the inflation comes, yes, you'll take a hit, but would some of us have taken such a hit that we got to go get a second, third, and fourth job or have to start a business to make up for it? Because there's some deficit. Now, it's different if you just got a low paying job or you have things going on, medical, this, that, and the other, taking care of parents and things of that nature. That's different. But not everybody has these other expenses going on. There are people who just got expenses that they really shouldn't have with trying to buy the latest everything, spending all their money with Timu, trying to live like a billionaire, but shopping like a peasant on a peasant fee. And I'm not trying to be, disrespectful, but that's how Timu promoted themselves. Like, yeah, you ain't really making all that much money, but with us, you can buy stuff like you're a billionaire for a low fee, and then they just snack, karma, and all of that. So if people being reckless with their money, and then you want to be in a business, and then the first thing you do is start fussing at the companies that are hiring you, saying, "Give me my money, pay me more money, so I can make a profit." But you overspent on stuff. It took me a while to get to the point of having two printers. And I bought this printer about 3-4 months ago because I knew one of these printers was about ready to go out. I thought it was going to be this one, but the one that I had before went. So I just replaced that. This one here is about to go. So I'm going to have to buy another one. I'm going to have to buy another one of these to replace this one, 6200, because they don't make the 6200 anymore. And if I did get a 6200, it would cost me about $700 because when they go out of when they're being discontinued, the price goes up. Now, if I can catch a 6200 for a good price, then I buy it because I already got the trays, and I do have another tray for the 6210, but that's what I'm working on now. So You said, and they have to compete with people like me. I don't need money. I just like doing it. Correct. You're correct. Now, let me show y'all something here. So let me ask you this. Do you understand the concept of turning a profit? Okay, because this is going to be key what I'm about to show y'all next. Okay. Do you understand or have a better understanding? You might have already understood. I'm not saying that nobody understood, but you might have a better understanding about turning a profit. And even with this, and what she's saying, with the inflation coming in, that's even more of the reason you have to be efficient and strategic about how you run your business. You have to. You got to be more strategic when you start seeing inflation. And you got to be smart about where you're spending your money, because if it's money that don't need to be spent, in other words, trying to take quote unquote business lunches all the time, bump all that. Cook some stuff at home. I moved toward cooking a little bit more stuff at home, watching what I'm eating, things of that nature. I have water with me. I have my own juice here. I fill the thing up and take my juice with me. If I gotta get me some of those ice packs and put me a little cooler and all of that, I do that. Nobody needs to know. Nobody cares about what I eat and all of that. Y'all don't care whether I go out to eat or whether I bring my own food. And I got a battery powered, a portable power pack. And it push came to shove. Shoot, I'll get me one of those, what they call it, those hot plates, and I'll pop the trunk of my SUV, plug it up, and I'll heat my own food up. I'll do what I got to do. If that's what I see I need to do, I'll do it. But let me show this. Let me show this to y'all real quick. And I think, hold on, let me make sure I did it right. This here is about branding, because we're going to talk about that, because, and I got this morning from Michael Jordan. That's why I say I think, YouTube be, or Google and all them be listening to me, my thoughts and stuff. So, all right. So this is an interview with Michael Jordan. It's not that long, but take a listen to what he is saying here.
Now it's like it's a prerequisite. Everybody has to have a logo. Everybody has to have a.
Why, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm part of the reason why everybody tries to get a logo, but.
All right, hold on. I had hit something, and let me get this another shot. All right, hold on one second. Let me check it over here, because this is real important.
Now it's like it's a prerequisite. Everybody has to have a logo. Everybody has to have a.
Why, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm part of the reason why everybody tries to get a logo, but
Brand, right?
a brand,
right? Brand Jordan.
But the thing is that that brand established based on what I did on the basketball court. You know, I didn't put the brand before I put the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
I put the work first, and then the brand evolved based on the work.
Right.
A lot of times it's different. You see it in every sport, not just basketball, football, baseball. Everybody's walking around with a logo and a hat, and I get it. But whatever I did here is never going to affect what I do on the basketball court.
But do you think that's harder now for guys? There's social media and all this stuff, so they got to cut through the clutter here a bit, right?
Yeah, that's true. I like to think that if I was playing today,
Right.
I like to think that no matter what, my game is going to validate whatever I try to participate in away from the game. It's really tough for the kids today, and most of them do a great job of navigating what you are talking about. That's as long as you understand that this is always going to be what you remembered for. Basketball and your love for basketball should always be pure. We would play this game. I've always said this. We would play this game for free. We did. And now we just so happen to get paid for it. Generationally, you know, I like to think that most of the time that people will remember Michael Jordan based on what he did on the basketball court and not always the commercials that he did. Now it's like,
So listening to that, when I heard that this morning, I said, this is the problem in the notary world. As soon as you come into the business, everybody's talking about developing a brand, but you haven't done any work. Now, of course, people think, oh, I have a logo, and they see that, and that's going to identify them to me. And there's a balance here. There's a balance. And that's, if you really been listening to me, I've been trying to get y'all to understand, however you market, the way you do the work has to match what you marketed. If you're marketing, looking all nice and professional, this, that, and the other, then you have to be able to do the work in the same manner. You cannot market that you are the top-notch notary. You are the notary that everybody wants, everybody needs, and then you got to go to Office Max to do all your printing. It's nothing wrong. There's notaries that may need my help for something, and they let the company know, hey, look, I got this problem. I'm gonna go to another notary, and because of my reputation, the notary, oh yeah, we know, they know they can trust me. And a lot of time I have the people, they'll come over and they'll just print themselves. Or if they need to bring their laptop or whatever, I got a guest Wi-Fi account, boom, boom, boom. I have no problem with that. None whatsoever. But the notaries I know, they spend most of the time doing the work themselves. They are equipped to do it themselves. So you're sitting here saying you're the notary that everybody can go to. That's just like you ladies when y'all go to the hair salon, and while they're working on your hair, and let's just say one of my favorite hairstyles is finger waves, and you getting finger waves done in your hair, and then they're like, hey, I ran out of gel, so I need to call my cousin and ask her to go get some gel for me, because I can't leave to go get it because I got 3 other heads in here. So I need somebody to go do it for me. You're not prepared. You marketed this excellent hairstyle, you show, but you're not prepared to do it. But you have this brand that is being pushed out to everybody on all social media, and then you don't know how to do your proper notarizations. You don't even know how to swear people in. You got an attitude when they ask you to go back and correct something, or they all of a sudden they realize they had the wrong CD in there, and they ask you to, hey, can you print? And then you got to pop an attitude. Well, you need to pay me more money for all this. You need to show me more appreciation. Look, we made a mistake. Can you? I mean, look. Your brand is how you do your work. I don't have a logo for my business. There was one created for me. I just never got into using it. But if you talk to these signing companies who are real signing companies that's not full of this bull jive, they know who they can rely on. ServiceLink called me earlier tonight. I had to turn them down because when they need me to do it, I'm already booked. Another company called me to go over to the Eastern Shore. I was like, I can't do it because I'm not even gonna be in the area. They wanted me to go there tomorrow. I think it was, yeah, tomorrow. Can't do it because I'm not even gonna be in the area because I got to take care of some stuff with my son. These are people calling me directly. Why? Because my reputation speaks for itself. That's my brand. My brand is that they know they can rely on me. That if I'm available, I get it done and I do it right the first time. And if I happen to make a mistake, Griffith go get it fixed. No charge. I ain't work. I got you. If I got to stay there a little, no problem. I got you. I got you. So let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all this.
If you ain't
Now tell me what y'all think about this one.
ready to put 5 years of grind into anything without making a quarter,
Right.
don't even start. Sometimes it takes that long to get over the hump. They not ready to put in that work. A lot of people want checks, but bosses cut checks. You got to realize we want the money, but we also got to use the money to make the money. It's really about having that mentality that you ready to work, because that's what it's really all about. The reward comes when you get down and you get on your grind. Do not complain about what you didn't get from the work you didn't put in. If you ain't ready to put 5 years.
5 years. This is coming from some of y'all's favorite rapper. Oh, I like him too. 5 years. If you're not willing to go in there and grind for 5 years for something that you say you believe in, you want to do. I'm at 7. I know I didn't make a quote unquote profit my first 5 years. I'm probably just now really making a profit this year. And I've been full time 5 out of those 7. I've been basically just breaking even. There's a grind that you have to do, and a lot of people are not willing to make a grind. They're not willing to do the grind. Now, let me show y'all. Let me allow somebody to really, because one of the things, the reason, part of my success is that I'm willing to do the stuff that nobody else does. I told the story many times about how I took a course in photography. And in that photography class, the only thing that I really remember is about making money. They said to make money in this business as a photographer, you have to be willing to do the pictures that no one else wants to do. You don't believe me? Let's listen to everybody's or a lot of people's favorite president. Okay. Not saying he's mine or not mine. I'm just saying a lot of people like him. A lot of y'all like him. He's cool with me because after he'd been the president, because I really wasn't following politics back then, the stuff that he's saying now, I'm like, oh, okay, I like what he's talking about. So let's listen to Barack.
Just learn how to get stuff done. What I mean by that is I've seen at every level people who are very good at describing problems, people who are very sophisticated in explaining why something went wrong or why something can't get fixed. But what I'm always looking for is, no matter how small the problem or how big it is, somebody who says, let me take care of that. If you project an attitude of whatever it is that's needed, I can handle it and I can do it, whoever's running that organization will notice, I promise. And which is why I think with young people, you don't always need to be so impatient asking for the plum assignment. A lot of times the best way to get attention is whatever is assigned to you, you are just nailing it. You're killing it, because people will notice, oh, that's somebody who can get something done. Just learn.
I hope y'all can hear that okay. I mean, this is how you run business. This is how you get moved up in your company. But you get out here and start a business. Oh, I ain't doing that order. I ain't doing that. Now, I ain't talking about the people that you got a lot of stuff going on. You might be sick. You got family that's sick. You got other responsibilities. But if you really got it clear, you got an open door that you can go do something, you go do it. And sometimes taking that order that might not necessarily be optimal for them folk is okay. It's okay for you to do something that's optimal for you and not for them. I don't run my business based on what any of y'all say y'all would do. A lot of people ask me, hey, well, what would you do, Griff? What is it that you want to do? Does it fit in with your goals? Does it fit in with your system? Will doing this help you? Well, I mean, yeah, it would. Then do it. It doesn't matter whether I would or not, because I'm not the one being presented with the opportunity. If there's something definitive, then I will tell you. So like a buddy of mine called me today. He was talking about doing some stuff for a company, and the company was asking him to do some stuff that he should not be doing, which was explaining documents, and he know that, but he wanted to take advantage of this opportunity. He said, well, how would I handle it? I told him, I said, come on now, you know how I would handle it. No different than what I do in face-to-face. If I'm doing Ron, because this was about doing some Ron stuff, if face-to-face I'm not explaining documents, why would I do it via Ron? It's not like I'm going to try to find a way. And yes, that might be an opportunity for you. It might be easier to do it, but if they're asking you to do something that's violating your state law, you got to say no. You got to say no. And it doesn't matter whether I will say yes to it or not. If you aren't supposed to do this in accordance with your state law, then you don't do it. It's that simple. But a lot of people are like, well, what would you? Don't matter what I would do. I get the conversation, you want to get another opinion and all of that. But sometimes you already know I ain't supposed to do that. But the stuff you can do, that you legitimately, legally can do, that's where you need to be at. That's really where you need to be at and stuff.
Stop questioning.
Now let me play these two for you. Now, any questions, feel free to ask any question. Are y'all getting this? Are y'all understanding? Because see, in order for you to turn a profit, you got to change your mind. Your mind has to change. You cannot have the mindset, and thank y'all for hitting the like button. You cannot have the mindset that the moment you see $100 come in, you're going to spend 110. Or you're going to put yourself in hock or commit yourself to having to pay back 110 when you only brought in 100. You have to change your mentality. Take the small orders. Take the orders no one else wants. Show them that, hey, I got you. I'm going to do this. Oh, we're going to make you preferred because you've been there for us. We only prefer people who will be there for us. If you can't be there for somebody, they will never prefer you. End of story. They always talk about, hey, how come the guy who is the brainiac got the best looking girl? Because he was there for her. How come the girl who didn't, look like a Holly Berry in her young days got this guy, that didn't look like Holly Berry? How come she got the football player? Because she was there. When you are there for somebody, boom. The only thing now is hopefully that person reciprocates that and understands that and don't take advantage of you. That's the only thing you really have to be, I won't say the only thing, that's one thing you have to be concerned about. But if that person is solid and they understand and respect the fact that you was there for them and they know how to be there for you, you have a powerful relationship. Whether it's marital, dating, friendship, business, it's all about being able to be there for one another. And nobody talks about that in this business. Yeah, they talk about networking and all of that. But no, there's a difference in networking and being there, because I can network with you and talk it up. But when you say, hey, can you, you always got excuses. So listen to these two. Give me your thoughts in the comments, what we listening to right now. Tell me what your thoughts about it.
Hey, listen, nobody celebrates your discipline until they need to borrow your results. So stop looking for applause. Just keep showing up. Because one day, the same people that overlooked your grind will be asking you how you did it. Hey, listen, nobody celebrates your discipline until they need to borrow your results. So stop looking for applause. Just keep showing up. Because one day, the same people that overlooked your grind will be asking you how you did it. Hey, listen, nobody.
Stop questioning your purpose. Just know that whatever journey you're on, you can't be envious of somebody else. You can't look over in their yard and go, why ain't I rocking like that person? It's not your time. God don't want that to happen for you like that. You just keep doing what you doing, and there's no bad in your life. It's all good. Just be grateful along the way to God. Trust God in this journey. He got you. Don't try to thirst to be nobody else. Just don't question when something bad happens to you. Just know that God's trying to make you stronger. And lastly, just be grateful for who you are on this journey. Don't try to be anybody except you. Stop questioning your purpose. Just know that whatever journey you're on, you can't be envious of somebody else. You can't look over in their yard and go, why ain't I rocking like that person? It's not your time. God don't want that to happen for you like that. You just keep doing what you doing, and there's no bad in your life. It's all good. Just be grateful along the way to God. Trust God in this journey. He got you. Don't try to thirst to be nobody else. Just don't question when something bad happens to you. Just know that God's trying to make you stronger. And lastly, just be grateful for who you are on this journey. Don't try to be anybody except you. Stop.
These are people who a lot of us look up to or admire or respect. Okay? They're telling us, they're telling you what you need to hear and know, and you're not getting that from these TMCs in this notary business. They make you dependent on them. They make you desire and want and lust for them and what they've accomplished. And you spend all your time, ooh, I want to be like them. I tell people, don't try to be like me. Just go out here and do your grind. And see, when I was grinding, see, a lot of y'all who are new to me over the last year or two, when I was out here doing my grind, when I was out there, people laughed at me. Man, I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing all that. I ain't taking all the order. And then next thing I know, when they start seeing the results, oh, hey, Griff, how you able to do that many closings in a day? Well, you had the opportunity. Yeah, I mean, I know. I just do them. But I wanted to start a check cashing business, and I wanted to start a this business and a that business. Okay. I wanted to be a wedding officiant. I wanted to do this and that. Okay, how'd all that work out? And now you got all this time and you're trying to figure out how to do 5, 6, 7, 8 signings in a day. When you had the opportunity, and I was trying to show y'all how to grind and focus. But you didn't want to. You didn't want to do that. You wanted to do all the nice fancy stuff that everybody else was saying. So that's where the problem lies. If you're not making a profit in this business or any business that you have, you got to first look inside. Up here, where's your thought at? What do you believe and think about the business? If your thoughts about the business are incorrect, it's going to always interfere with you making a profit. It said, I had a lady had to take up for me in an argument. She said that one of two ranked notaries, the husband tried to break bad wrong move. Yeah. So this was not me. Okay. Now some of you might like, oh, I thought you were going to. There's nothing groundbreaking like, oh, this is basic stuff. Stop looking for the surprise. Oh, no, it's basic. Your income minus your expenses equals your profit. How much did it cost you to get started? How much is it costing you to keep going? How much are you bringing in? That's really what it boils down to. And if you can get control of your emotions and get their bull jive out of your head, I think you can be fine in this business. I don't have the stuff that any of them TMCs say. I hear what they say. I don't listen to them. I look at what I need to do here because guess what? I can survive without them. They can't survive without us because we are their money. We are the source of their money. But I can survive without them. There's not a TMC out here, including myself, who is paying you to do a single closing or notary appointment. And if there is one, that would be my lady Ebony Locke, because she gets people work, and people been giving her a hard time, calling her a scam, and she's paying people before they even finish the order. And I've done work for her. She pays on time. If you're in this area, but this is, what do you think? Give me some ideas. What do y'all feel that you need to make a change in order for you to start seeing a profit? Now, I'm not asking you what that change is. If you think you need to make a change in order to start generating a profit or moving in that direction, put a 1 in the chat. If you think you're okay with where you're at, put a 2. For me, it's a 1. One of the changes that I did was I started accepting more direct work. And another thing that got me making changes, I stopped doing closings for companies, whether direct or signing, that put me in a position that I might break my state law. If a signing company is demanding that I do something that is outside of my scope of my notary laws, in Virginia's case, explaining the documents. Oh, I'm glad you said profile. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because I wanted to talk to you about profile too. There are companies who are very, very petty, very, very nitpicky. They ask notaries to do stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And what I started doing, I said, I got to work to the point where I don't need to work for those companies. It's just that simple. Is the assignment itself bad? No. Do I get paid? Yes. But when you have a company that is going to tell you you can't ship the documents until you go back and have the client date the promissory note, when there's no date required on there, it's clear just wants their signature. That's a problem. Why would I want to keep working with somebody who's telling me if I ship the documents without having the note dated, when there's no indication there for the note to be dated, and there are instructions that say the note shouldn't be dated, but you're going to punish me if I don't do it? And then I say, bump this. I'm gonna call the title company, and the title company says I don't want the note dated. I said, well, they won't release it, and they're telling me they're not gonna pay me if I send you your documents. What the heck? And this is a signing company. I ain't got time for that. If you want to be on a power trip, Mr. or Miss Signing Company, go right the heck head on. But then you have some signing companies that will get in there and work with you, and that if you make a mistake, they'll talk you through it and help you out. Okay, all day, every day. That's why one of the signing companies I love working for is Marcy Professional Notary Services. If I'm available, I will do the orders for her. It's like her orders come through, I'm immediately checking my calendar. As soon as I see something from her, she's on signing order. As soon as I see Professional Notary Services, My initial thought is to say yes. I check my calendar. Yes. If I can do it, and she knows the answer is going to be yes. Yeah. And see, this is where I think the states need to be brought in and articulated to what the actual issue is. And that's what the problem. Yeah. And I know I'm getting myself in trouble with some of these signing companies, depending, especially if they got thin skin and all of that. And I understand with the signing company, look, y'all really want to do this signing company thing. And you're making promises to your title company client. But daggone, we still can't break notary law for my state. It's just that simple. So yes, there's some companies that I will not do any work for because I know they're going to ask me to do something that I should not be doing. They're going to put me in a position to where it's going to be very, very uncomfortable and looking bad on me. So why go down that road? So sometimes I've had to take a financial hit, meaning a loss in revenue coming in order to preserve my ability to do closings. Because if I do something for this company and it's illegal and it gets caught, I'm the one that's going to get in trouble because I should have known better. Even if I did, the state is going to say you should have known better. And if you felt uncomfortable or something, you should have said no. But if I do it anyway, that means I have put myself at risk for losing the opportunity to do work for other people because not everybody out here is doing that unsavory stuff. So I'd rather lose 3-4 clients or opportunity or signing companies and working with them. And I may have to make less money for a little while, but at least I get to keep my commission. That's how I look at it. Now, whether you want to look at it that way, that's on you. But this is how I look at it. So there are some signing companies out there. A lot of people don't like coast to coast. I ain't had no problem with coast to coast. Some people don't like sunshine. I ain't had no problem with sunshine. They tell me what they need me to do, I do it. Same thing with SignX. Same thing with Old Republic, Villa Title, Signature Closers. I'm doing good with them. I'm doing good with these companies. It's like, hey, what do you need done? Okay, no problem. I get in, I get it done. Stuff on what's that? Prestige Notary. I haven't had any problems with them. They tell me what they need done. If I can do it, I do it. Boom. They do not ask me to do stuff that will be in violation of my state law. So I had to get to the point of having the bravery to say, you know what, I'm gonna do what my state law says. In the story. Now, let's talk about the profile. And I'm glad you brought that up, young lady. One of the things that y'all are going to have to do once you start getting orders and you start doing them, you need to, and I'm gonna have to pull this up so y'all can see an example. Y'all need to open it up. Y'all need to update your profile. A lot of people are not updating their profile as they grow in this business. You're thinking that just because you took somebody's course and you have been in the business 6-7 months or a year or 2 years, that the company should just automatically know that you got what it takes. They look at your profile and all they see is that I'm a white glove notary. I got a dual tray printer. I have a scanner. I have a mobile office. Okay, but what have you been doing? We don't know. You need to update your profile and say, I've done X amount of closings. I've done 45 closings since starting or something. 45 closings. 20 of them have been refinances. 10 of them have been purchases and 15 have been sellers or something like that. However many, as long as it equals up to the number. That's what you need to do. One of the things that and how you can keep track of it, and this is what I do in order to keep track. This is what I do in order to keep track. When I do an order, when I'm done with it, we'll say if I do something for Villa Title, after I do my scans, EYLA, Villa dash, I'll just use some basic name Jones, refi. So I know that is for Villa Title, person named Jones, or refinance. Coast to coast. Smith, seller. We'll go professional notary service, Marcy. So a lot of time with hers, I do PNS for professional notary service. I do Williams, reverse mortgage. That lets me know it was a reverse mortgage. We'll just make we'll just say Sunshine. McCain. RML a reverse mortgage loan application. Hold on. Somebody just texted me. Okay, that's them confirming an appointment. All right, cool. You see what I'm saying? This is what I do. So now if I at the end of the month, I can go back and look at how many refis I did, how many sellers, how many reverse mortgages, or I could do this here and say that loan app. Now I know that was a loan app, and I can count all of that stuff up and then put in my profile something to the effect of I have completed 15, 10, well, let's say 15 refi, 10 loan applications. You see what I'm saying? You can add that into your profile. But when I scan the documents, this is what I do. And I'm like, okay, so now I can go back and correct. I think so. But depending on how you do it, it's just a way. And I'm also doing it this way for the people who I'm sending a document back to, so that they would know what is going, because I don't know how they do their operations at Villa Title, but this way they'll know Villa Title, this is coming for them, Jones refi. Because if I got two Joneses out there, one for Villa, one for Carrington Mortgage, or one for Signature Closers, then I can actually know the difference. And I've had that happen where I have the same last name multiple times. So if a person doesn't want to do it this way, just find a way to do it. Find a way to have it recorded so you'll know what the heck is going on, and you can show, and then you can go back and run your own numbers of keeping tabs of it, however you want to do. But in your profile, you should articulate that you've been doing work and let them know the type, because some of these companies are like, well, a reverse mortgage comes out and you might want to give it a shot, but they don't know whether you've done them before. And if you have done them, then say so. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I used to do in my profile. I don't have to do it now, because I've gotten more established. But in the beginning, how else are they going to know anything about me? Because the number that you see in SnapDocs is the SnapDocs orders, the orders that were generated out of SnapDocs. If you've done 50 between Notary Go, signing order, Notary Dash, and signature closers and signing order, nobody will know in your SnapDocs profile. So you have to say so in your SnapDocs profile. If you've done stuff on them other platforms, nobody would know. And in my profile at one point in time, I even had a list of the companies that I've done closings for. I just had their name, didn't have the number that I did with them, but I just had their name there so people would know I'm doing work. Tell the story about yourself and let it grow. So I think once I got to about 500 closings, I didn't do that anymore. I didn't go that detailed because I was like, I'm pretty established. They know who I am. They know what I can do. They trust me. So I go back out. So I just, boom. And now I don't have to do that. But it's nothing wrong. But there's a lot of people out there that I asked them, I said, have you updated your profile? Oh, nah, I ain't got. You got to stop being lazy and thinking that it can help to some degree. It's not every platform will take it and be like, oh, okay, yeah. But you just never know. And like on signingagent.com, the NNA stuff, you need to update that because the service link people who called me, they got my information off of signingagent.com. That's where they told me to say, yeah, we got your information off of signingagent.com. That means there was something in my profile on signingagent.com, which I haven't updated in a while. I've been so busy, was enough for them to say, let's give him a call. All I need is an opportunity. Give me the call. But I have to do stuff. Make sure I ain't missing. Oh, okay. That's just my son. Hold up. Let me tell him we rolling out. What time we rolling out? Leaving at 6 a.m. All right. So I got to take him somewhere. So we got to roll out at 6 a.m. So has this helped you any? Has this given you some kind of understanding? Hold on, say we all took an oath to uphold the law. Correct. That is correct. But the problem is the way this business is marketed, people are more concerned about doing what these trainers are out here saying instead of following state law. That's where the problem comes in at. And for $1, people will forget what they're supposed to do and do what you tell them to do. You give them enough money. Keep in mind now, if this person has spent $10,000 to get in this business, and you're telling them, I'll pay you $150, all you got to do is just do it the way I tell you to do it. There are people out there that are that desperate that they can be like, no problem. Why you think so much mortgage fraud is going on out there? Because some notary is like, they get stamp happy because somebody gives them enough money to make them see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. That's what we got going on out here. And it's sad, but it's true. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that so many people are being taken advantage of. And I wish, oh my goodness, I just wish that I wish more people would walk in the courage to go out here and do what they need to do for themselves. I'm trying to find something else for y'all. Hold on one second. Any questions? Anything else y'all want me to cover here? There's one other thing that I want to say, and I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again about the explaining the documents. I'm just trying to find something here on Instagram. It's a person that I was looking for. I always forget. Anything else y'all want me to talk about or got questions about, just throw it in the chat and I will. Oops. Let me see if I can find this guy. Oh, there it is. All right. So this whole thing about explaining the documents and guiding people through. There's this whole thought of, well, as a signing agent, it's my job to walk people through. Who said you are a signing agent? Did your state say that? Did your state say that? Because if you were supposed to be following our state laws, does our state consider us a signing agent? This notary signing agent thing. Then the question becomes, even you being a signing agent, does your state allow you to articulate stuff about the documents? And what do they deem the unauthorized practice of law? Because people say, well, I'm just guiding them through. Is that really the job of a notary? You see what I'm saying? Now, it's something that you got to understand. When there are documents that need to be e-signed, who guides them through that? Who explains numbers to them? They give them the closing disclosure, which can be e-signed. I've seen it where I've done closings where they have them e-sign the note. Who is on line with them when they get this DocuSign thing to do? All they get is the document, and then it just says, click the sign, click the sign, click the sign, click the sign. And it just vroom, vroom, vroom. It doesn't, okay, read here, read here. It just takes them to what? Every spot they need to sign. And these same documents that they're e-signing are the same documents that could be in your loan packet. So if it was so important for a notary signing agent to be present, why aren't we being present for their e-signing? So we can sit there in the session with them in case they have some guidance questions. I thought we were so important that we have to help them through these documents and make sure that they know where to sign and all of that. Oh yeah, I know it's already but still we just gotta, because if you can sign here, date, initial. You mean to tell me that human being can't figure out when I hand them a document and they read through it and they see a line that says John Jones? Oh, I guess I need to sign there. Initial. I guess I need to initial. Date. Oh, I guess I need the date. You mean to tell me those people are that void of knowledge that they need me to help them through all of that? Come on. If you don't understand what you're signing, why you're signing, maybe you shouldn't be buying this house. Because remember, we have a thing called, we're supposed to make sure that they are doing this of their own free will and they understand what they're getting into. And if they don't understand what they're getting into and they need me to articulate stuff or to help guide them through the complexities of what somebody else put together, then we have a big problem. Why do I have to help you make it through an agreement that you decided to go into? You went to them and said, I want to refinance my house. And they said, I got you. And now you're looking for me, some random notary that got selected off the notary streets, to come in and tell you yep, this is a good deal, or guide you through this to make sure that you know where to sign and you do this and that you actually get it done. It's if you don't want to do this, it's on you. But once you sign it, and if I need to notarize the signature, then I do my thing. You have to be cool with the agreement as the signer. And if you're not, it's not my job to step in to help you. Now, there are some human beings who like to do that kind of stuff because they want to feel like they're the smartest person in the room. And I'm not trying to put you down, but honestly, if you know legally, that is not what you're supposed to do. But you just want to do it because of what? It may make you feel good. You may like the fact that people are like, oh, wow, you're really knowledgeable. And people get off on that sometimes. There are some people, men, women, young, old, black, white, you name it, they get off on showing people how smart they are. I just trying to get paid. I don't need to show you how smart I am. I know how smart I am. I ain't got to prove to you or no one else. How I show people how smart I am is when a situation comes up and I understand, ooh, that violates my state law. Oh, no, we can do it in accordance with my state law. That's where I try to show how smart I am. I don't give a flying flip about them documents. I'm serious. Because all I know is somebody decided to do something with a mortgage company and I get called in to verify identity, watch them sign, stamp if necessary, and I'm out. I am not expected to come there and bail them out and to make sure they're comfortable with what they're about to go into. If you're not comfortable when I get there, then we got a bigger problem. Now, let me talk about this. I think this will be the last thing. This whole concept of doing stuff scared. Y'all need to cut it out. There's a difference in being scared and concerned. A lot of times when people are scared, it's because they have no knowledge or lack of knowledge in a particular area. The printer breaks down. There's parts that I can buy to fix it. I'm a little scared that I might mess it up and waste my money in buying $300 worth of parts, and then I can't get this thing fixed for whatever reason. So what I'm going to do is to mitigate that fear, I just buy a new printer and call it a day. But man, if you do this and you can say, because there's a chance that I might mess that up. So when you know you might mess something up, then you got to say, well, how do I not mess it up? And I ask people all the time when they talk about, I ask people all the time when they say they're afraid. I'm like, what are you afraid of? And then once they tell me what they're concerned about, then what's the plan to fix it? So this whole concept of I'm going to do it scared, at some point, when are you going to stop being scared? And then I'm going to just say it this way. For those of you who are of faith, regardless of the denomination or whatever, whether it's the Torah, the Bible, whatever you believe in, if there's anything concerning faith, you should not be operating in fear. That's what I want to find. Hold on one sec. I have to find this here. And I'm going to prove to you. I'm going to prove to you this here. Okay. Where the heck is it? Oh, it's not here. It's not on Instagram. And I can't play it for y'all because it's on YouTube and I'll get pinged for it. And I can't find it on Instagram. I will link it in the video. I will link it in here later, but it's about fear. And there was a guy, he talked about the fact that the word fear not is in the Bible 365 times. There's 365 days in the year. So that means each and every day that you are alive, you should not be fearful. What are you afraid of? Why are you operating in fear? When you have a kid, think about it. Stay with me, y'all. Don't leave yet. Listen to me. When you have an infant and that infant is trying to walk, you do not tell that child, that infant, ooh, you better walk scared. Embrace the fear of about to fall and bust your head open. No, you talk positive and confirming to that child. And you, as the instructor, you move all obstacles out of that child's way so that they can have a clear path to success. These TMCs aren't doing that. You're going and paying somebody to tell you to be fearful. You're going to somebody and they're telling you start being afraid. You go out there and you do it in fear. You go out there and operate in fear. I don't subscribe to that. My trainings, anything that I do is to get rid of the fear. And a lot of people won't take my training because they embrace the fear. They love that. They need it. My job is to remove the fear away from you, to show you how you do not have to live and operate in fear. But there's nothing you do with your children where you're telling them operate in fear. You do everything you can to build their confidence up and to show them how to overcome those obstacles so that when they leave you at 18, 20, or whenever, they walk in faith. They walk in confidence. See, you can't walk confidently if you're fearful. You can't. That is correct. Faith over fear all day. So anybody who's telling you, girl, I just do it scared. Why you got to do everything scared? If you are being taught and educated properly, why are you still afraid? If the person who you are married to is doing what they're supposed to do, then there's no fear that they're going to leave you. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in your part of the relationship, there's no fear that they have within them that you're going to leave them. That when you leave for the day, that you're not going to come back because you done ran off with somebody. You don't get married scared. Anybody who's an educator should not, in my opinion, be telling you do it scared. It's a cop-out, in my opinion. Because if I can't teach you to the level that mitigates the fear that you have, which means I need to understand what it is you're fearful of, and I need to put together a plan that can at least articulate to you how to overcome that. Now, if you are still fearful after the teaching, it's either because the person didn't properly teach and address the concerns that are making you fearful, or if they did, then what that means is you're just a person who loves to operate in fear, that you embraced it. There's something that you grew up with, and you have been conditioned to always be fearful, no matter how much information you get. And you can have all the right answers, but you're predisposed to be fearful, that you are afraid to not be afraid. Tell your preacher to preach that this Sunday. You are afraid not to be afraid. Some of you are afraid of success. When I was in high school, I was afraid of success. I was afraid that if I did what I needed to do to be an A student, that I wouldn't be able to keep it up. Let me share with y'all this story of a fearful moment in my life. There was a really, really big fearful moment in my life. And it was so fearful that it brought me to tears. When 9/11 happened, I was unemployed. And I think either the day after or so, 9/11 happened, I get a phone call. I get hired for a job. I'm like, all right, cool. I had been out of work for a while. We was delivering newspapers to make ends meet. The truck that we had broke down. Then we had a plumbing issue, and I'm out there trying to do the plumbing myself. All of this because we were just flat broke. Get a phone call, get a job. I applied for a job to be a web developer. That's what my background is, website development. Very good at it. Very confident in it. I get to the job. I meet the person that I'm working with, a lady named Ann. Real earthy, artsy type of person. She's the graphic artist. They sit me down in the seat and they look at me and say, yes, this is Ann. She's the graphic artist, but she's going to be doing the web development and you're going to be doing graphic art. I'm like, what? I don't have a background in graphic art. You're going to do graphic art. How? You're doing the graphics, she's doing the website. What I found out, she wanted to learn how to do website development because she had a little website thing business going on the side. So she was using the job to do it. Then I was told to draw a box and make the box look three-dimensional. Again, I have no graphic artist skills, experience, nothing. This is back when basically it was just Yahoo as the search engine and maybe a little bit of Google you will see every now and then. So they gave me a task, and basically the task was, you need to make this here art piece, or basically we're gonna have to let you go. And I'm sitting here like, how are you gonna let me go for not being able to do the job that I'm not skilled to do? But the job that I am skilled to do, this person over here is doing it, and you won't let me do it? So I decided, I'm gonna figure this out. And I was scared. And I said, how do I fix this? I said, I gotta learn how to make this box, and I gotta make it look three-dimensional. I don't understand it. The concept is not clicking, but I'm going to try to figure it out. So I went home, and this was on a Friday. So, well, it was about like Monday or Tuesday, they told me this. And I was trying it there at work, and it was kicking my butt. So I said, you know what? I need some help. And somebody, I can't remember who it was, they said, man, you need to look on the internet and get a tutorial. There's some tutorials out there that'll tell you everything you need to know. Okay. Oh, and then they told me also, you need to download the program so you can do it at home. Oh, I can do this at home? Yeah. I didn't know that. Oh, yeah. Okay, bet. So I spent the next couple of days getting as much information as I could about how to use that program. I downloaded and printed. Now, this is before cloud stuff. So I had to print every tutorial that I saw on the internet. I had a binder that thick of tutorials. I took the binder home. They allowed me to print it, and I took this stuff home because I didn't have a printer at home. I took the stuff home. And on a Friday, I got home about 4 o'clock. I ate a little something, and I went upstairs and I sat in my office room from 4 o'clock on Friday evening till 4 something the next day. I went 24 hours, no sleep, which means I was up longer than 24 hours because I had got up that morning, that Friday morning. And I sat there and I went through every single tutorial and I taught myself how to draw. It makes me a little emotional even when I think about it, because my job was on the line, a job that I wasn't even supposed to be doing. And I had got to the point where I broke down, I was crying. In my house, I was crying and praying. I was like, I don't know what the heck. And all I kept hearing was just learn how to do it. Learn how to do it right. Now, here's the bad part. At that time, we could not email outside files to ourselves at work. We weren't allowed to. And even if we did, it wasn't going to come through because it was going to be removed. So I was like, I got to teach myself this thing and then teach myself to the point that I can go back on Monday and replicate it without examples that I made. I sat there and I read each tutorial and I tried and I downloaded the software. I think it was called Fireworks back then. It was Adobe Fireworks. I think that was the graphics program. And I sat there and I just grind. My wife was like, I'm going to bed. I said, no problem. My kids was little at that time. There was no problem with them. And I worked on that thing. And come Saturday, I finally figured it out. And my process to make it stick in my brain was, once I got it figured out, and it was probably about 5 or 6 o'clock, once I felt comfortable and it looked the way it needed to look, I then went and relaxed and said, let me spend some time with the family. Kicked it with them, ate, talked, all of that. Then I went back upstairs and I erased everything and I did it again. Erased it and then I did it again. And I kept doing that over and over because I didn't want no cheat sheets. I wanted to be able to do this thing from the top of my head. By Sunday afternoon, now I did go to sleep. Saturday night, I did go to sleep, got up the next morning, did it again from scratch. Went to church, came back, and did it maybe 5 or 6 more times before I went to bed that night. When I walked in that bad boy Monday morning, I sat down, got it done. And Miss Ann was like, oh, you got it. Yeah, I got it done. This is why I'm like this when it comes to figuring out stuff, y'all. Because I said I'll be daggone if I ever operate in fear again. I did not like being that scared. I hated it. And I said, I'm going to figure this bad boy out. One way, shape, or form, I'm going to figure it out. I have to figure this out. And I made the sacrifice. That's why my business is doing as well as it is, because I'm willing to make the sacrifice that nobody else is willing to make. It's different if you can't, because you got all this other stuff. And this might be stuff that you need to have in your life at this moment. But some of you don't have all of that stuff, or that stuff you got in your life you need to get rid of, and you can get rid of it, but you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're trying to keep up with these TMCs. You're trying to keep up with your little Facebook group buddies, so you can have some little bragging rights. You're trying to get on the NNA stage, all this notary influencer of the year and all of that stuff. What that got to do with anything about me making money? I ain't voting for nobody. Because it's not you who influenced me. All of a sudden, I'm seeing Miss So-and-so on every time I open up Instagram. I ain't seen her on Instagram in a year. And all of a sudden, every time I turn around, it's a video of her, a video of her, a video. I'm like, what is going on, Dana? Oh, you a notary influencer. What that got to do with anything in my business? Nothing. Nothing. Because if you can't be there for me when I call you, I'm not saying they are or not. I need you to be there for me. Just like I've seen this advertising talking about being a notary speaker. Learn how to be a notary conference speaker. seminar speaker. Really? I'm like, come on. Really? This is where we're at now? I thought I was trying to have a notary business. Oh, well, you can be a speaker at a conference and speak about what? This is why you got this bull jive going on out here, especially on TikTok, about all these notaries claiming, oh, here's how you can make money in this business. And the stuff that they're saying isn't even legal in their state, but they're telling you, and then, well, I didn't tell you to do it. I'm just telling you what I do. But if you come out and say, here's how you can price stuff, here's how you can charge, here's how to make money, people are going to think that you're giving them advice that they can use in their own business, regardless of the state that they're in. And that shows you the immaturity, business immaturity that exists out here with a lot of these men and women, because they don't understand that their words hold weight. And if you talk a certain way, people will believe you when they're in a desperate situation. And then you got them doing stuff that they should not be doing. You said you cheered me on without even knowing it. Thank you. You're welcome. You know, and you're right. There's that imposter syndrome. I've been, honestly, where a lot of you are at, have been, you know, in the past. I've been there, and I am in certain spots where y'all are at. I'm fighting for my business life, my family, to make sure that we are well taken care of. And there are times it's like, and it's not that it's $40. It's like, man, I just want to take a break. But with all the inflation and all that kind of stuff going on, it's like, why would I turn up a $40 order? I got an order coming up that's just a deed, $40. Be there probably 10 minutes, if that. What's wrong with it? It's 40 bones. It doesn't devalue me to take a $40 order. And if you think these orders are some kind of way a challenge to your man or womanhood, then you got bigger problems out here. If you think that doing a $40 order lessens you as a man, as a woman, as a husband, wife, mother, father, anything, if you're using the dollar amount to identify yourself as somebody who's have value, then you got it all wrong. Because if you was concerned that much, in my opinion, you would have figured out how to get your job to pay you the dollars that you deserve. And if you couldn't figure out how to get them to pay you the money that you deserve, which forced you to have to do a side hustle, a business, if you've already failed at it there, then how are you going to be successful with it here? Because you have no track record of being successful at getting an increase in pay. And now you're going to take that failure, because that's what it is. You failed at it. They told you no. And now you want to try to make somebody who is not your employer, they're in a business relationship with you, for you to provide them a service and for them to pay you a fee for that service. And you want to tell them, pay me this. And this is one of the things that I said, and no one is doing this. I did a video out there called, I think it was called, hold on, let me find it real quick. Hold on with me, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. I did this video. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah. Let me show y'all. This video right here. And I'm gonna this right here. Get $150 per appointment. Here's the one thing to add to your notary profile to get $150 per order. I did a video and I guarantee you nobody did it. Nobody did it. Nobody did it. Let me see if I can, because I think I even have an example. Hold on 1 second for me. And this is the pettiness of me, but let me pause that. This here is what you need to do in order to guarantee getting $150 per order. Let me see if I can get this to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. I think that's the most I can do, 300%. So what this says, this is what you need to put in your profile to guarantee that you can get $150 per order. This is what you need to have in your profile. Please be advised that I only respond, accept, and complete notary orders with a price of $150 or more. If the order you are sending out is below that dollar amount, do not include me in the mass notification. Additionally, all scanbacks are an additional $75. All documents must be to me no later than 4 hours prior to the appointment time. If the appointment is between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. the following day, I must have the documents no later than 5 p.m. before the day before. If you want me to wait for documents to be uploaded to the portal, the fee is an additional $100 per 30 minutes. Printing, if the documents are more than 100 pages, a fee of $75 is added per 25 pages over 100 pages. If corrections are needed, a fee of $100 must be paid first, and I will let you know when I can go back. Lastly, once the documents have been received, payment needs to be remitted within 72 hours or a $50 late fee per day is added. I look forward to providing you and your clients with white glove service. I promise you, out of the 738 people who looked at that video 10 months ago, not nan one of them did it. And some of the people who looked at the video are people who complained about what? I need to be paid $150 per. Then tell them. See, you have not because you ask not. Ain't that right, Christians? Ain't that right, religious people? And I'm not saying it in a negative. I'm just saying, trying not to offend religious believers, people of faith. What does the word say? You have not because you ask not. That's all negotiating is asking for what you don't have. So why spin your wheels trying to get a notary notification and saying, oh, I need to ask them to pay me more? How about you just say it up front in your notary profile? Do it. I'm serious. You can put that in your profile because you're telling every single signing service that looks at your video, that looks at your profile, if the order you're sending out is less than $150, don't send it my way. Let's see what happens. And the reason why I put it that way, because I did that based off of everything that people have told me over the years that they want. They're saying, I want this, I charge for that. And I asked these different individuals, said, did you put it in your profile? No. I'm like, why are you not doing that? Let them know where you stand. I mean, when y'all dating people, you tell them, hey, I want my woman to do this, do that. I want my man to do this, do that. So if you are doing this business or any business, you do what? Tell them what you want. Why waste your time with these frivolous $80 orders. Don't even include me. Be gone. That is beneath me. So you need to tell them that. I can't say whether it will or won't work, but you have to put yourself in the shoes of a company that has a contract that's going to pay them a certain dollar amount. And in order to pay you that dollar amount, how does that affect their bottom line? And people say, well, they got the money. How do you know they have the money? Well, look at the closing disclosure. That don't tell the full story. How do you know that the $300 notary fee all goes to just one entity? How do you know that's not split between ... Because your notary trainer probably told you. Oh yeah, look at that closing disclosure. Look at what they're getting for the notary fee. You should be getting more of that. Okay, then why is it that that same notary trainer or trainers now have courses that teach people to be signing company owners, and there's several out there, and those same signing company owners that say you need to get more money from the signing company only pay you $75. These signing company owners are only paying you $75. But they was bragging that everybody needs to be getting paid $150. And what are they paying you? What are they paying you? That's why I did a video right here called $30 a month is easy at $75 per order. And what I'm talking about is that if a person is getting $75 per order, there's a link, 75 times 400 is $30,000. So if I do $75 times 400, that's 30,000. That's 30. That's how I make $30,000 a month as a signing company owner. Because I'm getting paid $150. I split that with you. You get 75, I get 75. But I'm doing 400 of those. You're probably doing 20 times 20. So you're getting 1,500. I'm getting 30,000. So people say, well, shoot, I want to be a signing company owner. And next thing you know, you got 60% of the notaries out there trying to be signing company owners. There's only so much work. And there's been an increase in signing companies. And you're sitting here talking about there's a decrease in work. So where are you getting this money from? Signing company owner. Of course, by not paying us a higher fee. And I get it. And honestly, I'm not mad at you. I get it. But don't be a person telling me before you become a signing company owner how I should not take a $75 order, and then you become a signing company owner, and that's all you're going to pay me. That doesn't make sense. Help me out, people. Tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, think about it. They're like somebody telling you, girl, I would never get married. I am not getting married to some guy that's 5'8". The little midget guy. I ain't marrying no guy who's short and working at some steel factory. He got to be 6 feet tall, making X amount of dollars. I got to be over there in a country club. And then you see her 3 years later with a little man. And I'm not trying to be funny. So anybody that's I'm 5'10" or 5'11", whatever. I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just saying. Shanquita, Kylie, I thought you said y'all wasn't gonna marry somebody that. Girl, look, I had to do what I had to do. And there's people out there that's like that. They tell you this pie in the sky thing, this perfect relationship, this perfect notary, and then next thing you know, they doing the same thing. Huh. When I started late 2020, there were 9 or 10 people who would watch on and hold off, and then I only see you and one other person still out there. Yeah, there were there was a lot of people in 2020, all this notary education, and guess what? When they realized they had to grind, like Ice Cube was talking about, when they realized they had to grind in order to make it work, they couldn't do it. They was like, never mind, I'm out. I'm gonna be a loan officer. I'm gonna be a bank. I mean, they got into the mortgage industry. I'm gonna be a real estate agent. They switched. Nope. But really, all they did was took my advice because I kept saying during that whole time, if you want to make more money, then become a loan officer or be a real estate agent, or better yet, start your own title company. I haven't heard anybody talk about doing that because there's some regulations and some eyeballs that's going to be on you to make sure you ain't doing nothing funny with the money. But this is where we're at, people. So anything additional we have to pay, but that's a fair price. Yeah. My thing is simply this. You can only operate in fear but so long. Because fear is a stressor on the human body. Fear adds weight, adds depression, adds a lot of negative things. So here you are supposed to be positive about the business, but you're doing it with a negative mindset. You're doing it already scared and afraid that something negative is going to happen to you, which means you're expecting negative results. That no matter how well you think you did, it's going to blow up in your face. That is no way to live your life at all. If you want to live your life that way, I'm going to tell you straight up now to your face, do not call me and ask me for help. And I've told people before, you call me talking about, I'm scared, I'm hanging up on you because I don't do fear, because there's nothing I can say to make you stop being afraid. That is a choice that you have to make. You have to say, I'm no longer going to be afraid. You have to say, I'm going to stand up and go do this here courageously. There's nothing that I can teach you. You have to make up your mind that I'm not going to be afraid. What is that song? We walk by faith and not by sight. In thee I put my trust. All my battles he will fight. We sing that in church, those who go to church. We sing all these things about having faith and belief. Christmas time and all of this miracle stuff. And then your notary trainer, mentor, or coach is telling you, just go out here and do the business in fear. Just be scared as you do it. You're scared, go and do it anyway. Well, can you help me mitigate that fear? Can you erase the fear? I can't help you get the fear out of you. And they're telling the truth. So now you got to figure out, why am I afraid? What is going on with me? Is it something from my past with my parents? Or a relationship that I had with some dude or some girl? Is it something that happened on my job? Have I been abused in some kind of way? Verbally, physically, mentally? Is it a spirit that's just in my family to always be this way? And I'm having a hard time breaking away from, there's all of it. And you get into a business and the first thing they tell you, be afraid. No. No. So that's why I do all that I do for y'all, to try to help you stop being afraid. I got a video out there about called "Who Made You Afraid." Just go search on YouTube, Griffin Notary Afraid. Just type that in, Griffin Notary Afraid. You'll see the video. It'll pop up. So for those of y'all who want to do the notary training, notary certificate training, if you are struggling with understanding how to do the notary certificates the proper way, feel free to go to the site here, notarycertificate.training, and I will be more than happy to help you. You just click on the button, register, and when you go there, you'll go to this site here. And when you're on this site, all you got to do is click on training class, pick a date, select the time. There's only one time available per date. And then you'll fill out the form and click continue, and then you'll pay and you'll be in there. Okay. The notary certificate training is to help you understand how to deal with the notarial certificates that you may see out here, so that you can understand how to properly do your job. So when you go market, when you go network, you can have the confidence that when you get presented with documents, irregardless of where they come from, you'll know what to do in accordance with your state law. That's what the goal is. That's what I do and help people out. Now, if you're already solid with that, then I get it. I'll never see you in the training. But if you're not, if you're iffy, if you've seen some notarial certificates, if you're worried about the wording, how to fill out these notarial certificates when they got blanks in them, that's what we deal with. So the information is in the description, notarycertificate.training, noon tomorrow till 3. Then we'll do another class, 3 to 6. They're 2 separate classes. You don't have to sign up for both, and we'll get you taken care of. It's that simple. It's that simple. And you got support from me when you start doing closings and whatever else that you're doing that's dealing with the notary business. If you get stuck on something, you just give me a holler. I'll help you out. If you need to sit down and do a Zoom and let's go over these documents and make sure everything is square, answer any questions, we'll do that. But this is a live training. This is not pre-recorded. So you get to ask questions, all of that. If you don't show up, then I hope you got everything together. But if you don't, if you got apprehension, you're concerned, and people say, well, man, 40 is that there's no discount, because I tell you, I put it at the lowest price possible because I know I could charge more, but I know people, and I don't base my price off of holidays and stuff. This is a good, fair price to help you get to where you need to be. If you can't do it this weekend, then I got another one, the 13th and 14th. And and after that, I'm not doing any more this year because I understand the holidays. Then we'll rock and roll come January. But if you are iffy about how to fill out the notarial certificates and do your job, this is the training. This is the #1 notary certificate training in America. That's what it is. Because no one else is trying to do this. Most people might spend 20, 30 minutes doing it, but I'm giving you 3 hours. Top to bottom, front, back, in every corner that exists concerning the notarial certificate. You will learn what you need to learn. You will have the confidence to go out here and do this thing. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. All right. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for your time. I did not expect to be on here this long, but y'all know how I be running my mouth. So I'm getting ready to go downstairs and fix me some French toast for tomorrow and some food and all of that. So I already have all my food ready. And the wife, she sleeps. She probably tired of me running my mouth because I know she can hear me. And then I'm gonna go to bed because I ain't got no documents to print and everything's been shipped. So I'm good to go. I got 2 house inspections I got to get caught up on tomorrow. That's right. So do my thing with my son, go do the house inspections, and then I'll be on here at noon and get y'all taken care of. I tried to get them done today, but it was raining and I couldn't, so I got to do them first thing in the morning. All right. Y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all later. Peace.